97 Out of Box. This is DJ Eric, one part of the Big Throw and Eric show. Right now you're tuned in to Tea with Monroe. Ooh, sex, love, scandal, harassment. Oh, you get the tea right now. Tea with Monroe podcast. You're officially tuned in.
Mic check.
I noticed that my throat, I have a rasp in my voice.
Okay, you me. Me. Do la fe la sol. That was the wrong. Ola. How's it go? Do re mi fa sol la.
Tito. Do, a deer, a female deer.
I forgot the rest.
Ray, a drop of golden sun.
Yes. What's the rest?
Me. You recording?
I am.
Check that out.
Hey, this is Monroe Bishop.
No, I'm mad at you.
And this is Larry White, and welcome back to Tea with Monroe. He trying to clear his voice out, clear his throat out. He a little raspy. It's the allergies. It's pollen. Somebody told me that even though the rain came and washed the pollen out from my vision, it still exists. People are suffering greatly from allergies here in Houston, Texas. And that's what's in your throat, some pollen. I think I saw it the other day. Open your mouth. Why you giving me the evil eye?
Because you're evil.
I'm not evil.
You're evil.
I'm not. I'm just an angel.
Let me stop this.
Don't act that way. Don't act that way.
No.
Do la re mi fa sol la. Tito. Anyway, that was some. I was in
Michael
choir.
Jackson.
I was in choir, but I just cannot remember that for nothing. I don't even know how you remember that. Do a deer, a female deer.
I ain't telling you.
So anyway, everybody, thank you. This is Monroe Bishop once again, and thank you for coming through the podcast. Definitely continue to check me out on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play. Also, go to my website, www.monroebishop.com. Yeah, and you can see all my episodes from there as well. Happy Friday. Happy Monday. Stop acting all stank. Acting like I don't record you when you ain't paying attention. You have no idea how many recordings I have of you.
I got some recordings.
You do? I bet you do. Well, we got some blackmail material on each other then.
No, I don't do that.
So, what's the tea this week? The tea is, I heard Barack and Michelle Obama are in talks with Netflix for a show. Now, they didn't give any specifics, or maybe I didn't read any further down than the actual caption. But what do you think? How do you feel about a president? You know, the presidency is so different now from back in the day. So how do you feel about the former president, getting a Netflix deal? I don't know, was he going to do a documentary? I don't know. I need to probably look it up. But what do you feel about them having a show on Netflix?
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. He's back in civilian life. He can do whatever he wants. Most presidents do, different things. Heck, we got a president that come from a talk show, whatever. So apprentice. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a good thing. He needs to be able to do whatever, make his money. He's been president. He reached the highest, probably the highest job position in this country. So, it's done. So now he's just, out there doing whatever to make his money.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. I just think it's kind of weird. I could definitely see him writing books and maybe...
Look, what people don't realize about politics is that, let's just say, back in doing the people that established this country as far as the form of America, the way it is set up right now, they were average people, farmers, they were, landowners, they were whatever they were. They were,
Slave owners,
They were slave owners. There were some slave owners.
sharecroppers,
There were sharecroppers, and there were some of them was inventors and
cotton
whatever.
pickers.
You trying to be funny. But anyway, they did things, right?
Right.
They had regular jobs,
Right,
and
right.
it wasn't a career. It was you go there and you serve, and then you go back to your life.
Right.
So he was just a president, and he should be able to go back to his life. Now he may have a different status, a different whatever, but he got to be able to go back to his life. And
Yeah,
make money.
that I definitely agree. I think he was
Right.
a man, a family man, a working man. Definitely taking care of himself before he became the president of the United States. So definitely he should continue on that journey.
Well,
it just seems so weird.
No.
I mean, to me, I just feel like they so above that.
No, they're not. No,
You don't
no,
think
they,
so?
the politicians go into office and make a career of it, and it's a politician is nothing but an average person that done went in and been elected to office, and they need to be able to get out of office and make money. Just like every Joe Blow, but of course they got power and position now, so but they need to be able to get out of office and let somebody else do something and go do whatever they want to do. I mean, he was a president. He was not a king. We don't have a king, so he was a president. So he deserves respect and the position he held.
I agree.
But he needs to be able to go out and live his life and pursue any goals and dreams that he ever wanted to do. And if he got a Netflix television show, that's great.
It is great.
Because
It just seems weird though.
When Donald Trump come out of there,
What he gonna do?
He gonna probably go back to his show.
I thought they fired him from his show. He can't go back to that show.
He can own his own show, just like Oprah Winfrey. Oprah owns.
You said windmill.
Oprah Winfrey owns
Right.
hers. Something's wrong with my voice. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
I guess you put it like that. I mean, like I said, the presidency is not the same anymore. They don't have this boxed in standard of where they do things. Like George Bush, I mean, we haven't heard from him. I mean, he paints and write books, and you don't see him doing the celebrity circuit like a lot of like Barack and Trump has done in terms of just going through the circuit of going to shows, and so it's just weird. It's just weird. That's all I'm saying.
Bush is one of those guys that always respected the office. He thought the office, like you were saying, higher. You have a when you're there, you do things a certain way.
Right. Tradition. It's like a tradition.
He get that from his father. It's like a respect for the office, which is true. You should respect the
so
office.
So Barack don't respect the office?
No. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying that
it's a different type of reverence for
right. He has a different thing. He didn't believe in speaking bad about any other president, regardless of whatever their political views were. When he was in office, he wasn't going to be the one a ex-president criticizing a current president. He wasn't going to do it. He wasn't going to play that.
Okay.
So that was his position. Now there's other I lost my train of thought here. There's other presidents.
Turn your phone off, man.
There's other presidents like what's his name? Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter. He has criticized
other presidents.
The current president. There was.
It's like it's getting messy up in the White House. Just messy.
Bill Clinton he said things, So you got to think about it. There's on how many presidents are alive? We got 1, 2.
Now you should know this off the top of your head,
4,
Mr. Historian.
5. We got five living presidents, I believe.
Okay.
Ex-president. No. We got maybe 6. It's Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton. No, Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, then George W. Bush. No, Bush 2. Oh, we got more than that. So we got Jimmy Carter, George Bush, Bill Clinton, George Bush Jr. Barack.
That's it.
And Trump.
No, but Trump is he's president now. He's not an ex-president, so he's 5. So we have 5. You was right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So it was a big health scare with Rick Ross, and I want to bring this up. I'm gonna do a separate podcast on this because it's not very often that we talk about black men and their health. Well, I can't say that. It is highly talked about. It's just nobody really including you, a lot of it's difficult for men to go to the doctor. And he had a huge health scare, which he kept very private, which is his choice. And it was a lot of speculation about what happened to him. He passed out. He was found having a seizure. And we've known he had some health issues because he was a heavier man, healthier, and he had ended up having to lose weight for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure there was some pre-existing something or other to motivate that weight loss. And so how do you feel about that as a black man and just the health issues surrounding a lot of black men and the stigma that you all do not go to the doctor?
Okay, so Rick Ross, let's talk about that particular. I believe he has been up on the doctor's care, what it sounds like. So whatever his health scare was, I don't know the particulars because he obviously had a situation happen, but he has been up on the doctor care. So it's probably something that either they missed or he's a medication, maybe not, you know how you can get the wrong medication, wrong doses or something.
Right.
Could have been anything. It could have been something new. But so on that, I think he was up on the doctor's care and he has been going to the doctor. So, but in general, black men, I just had a friend that passed. Okay?
Right.
So, you know, when I believe he knew he had issues like high blood pressure and stuff like that. So, and me and his brother, like really good friends, you know, Jeff
Right.
Hollins.
Right.
And Pat, that was who it was that passed, is Pat. And his other brother's Mike Hollins. All right, so now he had high blood pressure for my understanding, but I don't know what the cause of death was. But he died in his sleep.
Right.
You know, they found his mother came in and found him. So
Right.
you know, so he had high blood pressure. You know, he did the normal stuff, drink a little alcohol and whatever not. So, you know, so it's just, you know, I don't know if how regularly he was going to the doctor, but yeah, it's scary.
So
you know?
why is it that you all, not all black men, but a lot of black men do not go to the doctor, especially when they see or feel something is wrong? They feel like they can just push through the situation and everything is going to be okay, not realizing that little bitty blip that you may have felt could be something that's continually to progress. Because I have another good friend who husband died really young. They was getting ready for work, and he was, I think, either 40 or right before 39, 40, 38, somewhere up in there. And he just fell down dead. And he had been complaining of headaches. And she kept saying, go to the doctor, go to the doctor. He would never go, I'm fine, popping ibuprofen or whatever. Then he fell down dead. Same thing, heart issues, whatever. It's
I can
like,
tell you right now why.
Why?
Because we got to go to work.
Yeah, but how can you work and not take care of yourself? They tell us that all the time as
because
women.
We have always dealt with, okay, women go to the doctor more frequently because y'all grow up going to the doctor.
Well, we have to get certain things checked out because we are women, and yeah.
Right. So we don't necessarily have a lot of those issues. So when something's going on with us, it's a headache, it's a cold, it's a cough,
constipation, diarrhea, little stomach flu.
Right. We just think it's nothing. You know, it's just old age, aching and a pain. You know what I'm saying? I got a pain in my back. I got a pain in my stomach. It's just something that's gonna go away.
Right.
Even when it doesn't go away, we don't always know how to determine it, if it's something that is long term or something that is how you want to say just something that's that serious that you need to go to the doctor. It's like wasting money to us. You know, it's like just, you know,
that's
doing
crazy,
something else.
But don't, just the fact that you see that you have friends or other family members that have passed because of not going to the doctor, or if they went to the doctor, not following the protocol or the, you know, whatever the doctor tell you to do, that they die or have some long-term chronic illness. I mean, wake up.
Put it like this. Deshaun, my friend, one of my friends, Deshaun, he might have just had the surgery. He's supposed to have had.
Oh, we need to call him.
Yeah, he's supposed to have. He's supposed to have had a a surgery, like a sinus type of thing,
Right.
you know, for his nose. You know, he always had red eyes. Now, he had been going to the doctor for years, and nobody could figure out why his eyes was always red. He'd always get messed with by the police and teachers and different things, thinking that he was doing something like drugs or something, and he wasn't. Well, one doctor said, "Oh, I know exactly what's wrong with you." Finally, after him being 40-some years old, it's a sinus thing. They did him all kind of tests, all kind of stuff, and it's just he get a sinus, like a deviated septal fix. Now, you know how many doctors I know he went to, and this is now they just.
Well, you know what? Let's be clear, because there are some doctors who
they went to the extreme of everything it could be because his eyes red, and you know
they stereotype them based
something simple.
All they had to do is drug test him and know he doesn't do anything.
But it wasn't just drugs. It was kidney problem. It was
which it does, because he has high blood pressure. He does.
Well, I understand that, but still. They did every other test in the world.
I experienced that with my son, because he was diagnosed with cholesterol and high blood pressure at the age of 12. And he was very athletic, as you know, played basketball. Now, he ate like any other kid, hamburger, french fries, but he ate good right. as well, because he eats like I eat, vegetables and stuff like that. And then he just almost passed out one day on the basketball court. Boom, he got high blood pressure. And it was nothing that they could look at him like, well, what the heck why would you? But it's hereditary, right. Extremely hereditary. Right. And he has an extreme case of it, and if he doesn't take his medication, eat right, exercise, all those things, and not stress, his blood pressure will shoot up. But it didn't take several trips to the doctor, I have to say. But I definitely will say this. They did run several tests to try to figure out what was the actual source of it, because right. it's always a source that you have to focus. They did the kidney and they did different things, but it wasn't easily identifiable, because when it gets to that point, your insurance does not want to pay for them to troubleshoot.
So this is one of the reasons why guys don't always go to the doctor, because they go one time, they're not going to keep going to the doctor to find out this doctor said this, they got to do another, or you got to come back. And it's a little hassle. It's a little bit of a hassle, a little bit of headache just to go through all of that process. So I'm just telling you some of the reasons.
Makes no sense. Take your ass to the doctor when you're sick and you feel like it could be something that you need to figure out what it is, because it's consistently coming back. Consistently go to the doctor. Okay. And it's a learning process, because I had to learn different doctors to go to for different things, because you go to our primary care doctor, they don't know everything. They have a broad general idea of stuff. So this stuff is very watered down in general. Right, they can say, okay, it could be this, it could be that. But we have a great doctor. I mean, definitely if you tell her you have certain symptoms, hey, go to the cardiologist, go to the rheumatologist, go to the oncologist. She's going to send you everywhere you need to go to troubleshoot that thing. So I definitely like that about her.
Her friends got to make money too now.
Oh, gosh, shut up.
All of them.
So last week, maybe the week before that, because you wouldn't sit down with me last week, we did a podcast, The Child Inside Me. So this is part 2 of that, where we talked about our grassroots of who we are as individuals because of our parents directly, indirectly, situations where they raised us, and different things we picked up, that's in our genes versus what was taught to us versus what we saw, different things like that. It got kind of emotional for me, and I just want to say, I want to be very, very clear. I love both of my parents dearly. I do not take my relationship with either one of them lightly. They both had different impacts in my life in different ways. I have to say my mother has definitely and always have been my rock. It's a learning curve for all of us as parents. Nobody is ever perfect. And this is not to minimize anything that she or Verna has done for me, because in different ways they have been there for me a lot in different ways. My mother more so because I live with her, and I think I did zone in on him more so because
we never got to talk about that.
Because it was emotional for me just to go through the evolution of my childhood with him being in and out of my life. So, and I don't want to take anything from him. I mean, in general, he's a great person. He has a lot of great children. All of us are amazing, and we just all walked away differently, just based on our relationship with him. And that was just my experience. And it was not to make him to look like a bad guy, or it's just my experience with him, and how it affected me and some of the decisions that I made because of that relationship. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you could be raised by wolves, but you can make a decision at some point where you want to get up and walk away and come out the forest and eat cooked meat versus raw meat. You know what I'm saying? So we can't hold our parents responsible for everything. So just Mama and Vernon, and don't get all hostile. I don't know even though they listen to the podcast, but just so you know, I love you both. That was just my little emotional journey, and we're gonna continue that. We're gonna talk. You said we didn't get a chance to talk about the mothers, but I thought we did.
I didn't talk about my mama.
Well, tell us about your mama and how she influenced your life and what she brought to your life as a child that's now has flourished into adulthood.
Let me say this. My mother is an aggressive woman, very aggressive. She has a way about her. She's intimidating if you don't know her. And she's going to pick and prod and try to find out, most of my aunts even were like that, kind of pick and prod and try to find out as much as they can and whatever. So, I appreciated my mother growing up because she was a protector. She was a person that wasn't going to just let you do anything you wanted to do. You had to do what she wanted you to do. And in a way, I appreciated that because kids really, if you really think about it, they don't know what they want to do, and you kind of got to lead them to that direction. And now I'm sitting here thinking like, when I was raising my kids, I kind of like wanted to give my kids, I wanted them to have that freedom to choose and do, because I think that, but that ain't always the best case, because I kind of see that they would choose the worst thing in the world.
So basically, your mother raised you in a how she raised you. However, you didn't necessarily carry that on to your children. You tried something different.
No. I carried a lot of things on, but I wanted her to. I did want my kids. I called giving my kids. Like I gave them structure when they was younger, and I told them everything they need to do and what they.
Right.
I did that. When I got older, when I thought they was at the decision making age, I started to allow them to make choices.
What age is that?
Well, like middle school, I started giving them a little bit more choice. I'm the kind of parent that I'm gonna tell you what to do, and you need to do what I say.
Right.
Regardless, you don't even need to know why I'm telling you.
Just do it.
Just do what I say.
Just do what I say. Don't ask no questions. I think we were raised like that.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I am. But these kids these days aren't the kind of kid that just take that and listen.
They have no fear.
Well, no, it's other people. Well, if you raise your kid like that, if they don't listen to you, some of it is your fault.
I agree.
As a parent, because there's somewhere where they don't take you serious. Something has happened where they know how far to take you as a child.
So what specifically did you get from your mom that was directly impactful with the kids?
I'm gonna get there.
I know we got it.
So, what did I get from my mother that affected me? Well, I got that in that thing where that's a good question. What did I get from her directly that affected me? Well,
work ethic?
I did get a work ethic. I guess I'm thinking more of a
deeper thing.
Type of thought. I'm thinking, but I can tell you what some dues that I got from things that to do. Go to church.
Okay, that's important.
You need something constant, the right thing constant coming at you. I got respect your parents. She always respected her mother. She didn't cuss in front of her mother.
Right.
Well, not to serious. She didn't do certain things. She knew things that her mother didn't like, even as a grown woman. She
respected her mom, right.
She respected it. I got the that you that you never take no for an answer. She kind of, like I said, she's aggressive. She don't just take no. She just kind of like, you tell her no, and then she gonna make you feel bad, or she gonna either go, even if she got it, she gonna make you even talk about you, but because you told her no. But you know, I just had to build up a thick skin with her in a lot of ways, because
Right.
you know, when I was growing up, I didn't bring anybody around my mother, like a girl, a female. I didn't bring anybody around her unless I liked them. You understand? And most people,
Well, I think a lot of people do that.
well, a lot of people do that, but then, like I said, these kids these days, they bring in, I don't want to meet them. What? I don't, who is this? Why you bringing them here? You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I'm just saying. But no, I got a lot of good things. I got some things that I tried to make sure I didn't do. Like my mother, she was always big money maker, big spender, and so I'm kind of tight. You know, I think I told you before that. I might have said on here before that when I was growing up. So my mother did not allow any kind of money to come into our hands.
Yeah, tell that story. But now that's what I want to talk about. How did that influence you as a child?
Okay, so
As an adult. I'm sorry.
So when she would give, let's say somebody gave us $20, she wanted to know who gave you $20, where, like when, why they didn't tell her, and she would take the $20 from you and say, "Thank you, I got this, I'll hold on to it." And you'd be like, "Okay, okay," and then so she had a $20. A week later, you'd say, "Can I have my $20?" No, I had to use that $20. I had to buy your food the other day. And you'd be like, but my $20. And she's like, "What you needed to eat." And we bought that chicken. Remember we bought that chicken? And
She do that to this day.
So she would take your $20 and she would spend it. And
right.
now it was just, and then you'll be like, so when I got older, if I got $20, and then I try to call myself gonna hide it, and if she ever found out, see, I would hold on to $20. Like, they used to tease me about this in high school. I would hold on to $20 for 3-4 weeks because I was just like, I'm keeping this $20.
So as a kid, I mean, because I can tell you right now, my mother never took my money, but I feel like I would have kicked and screamed and took that ass whooping because that's my money.
No. It wasn't no,
like if you go visit
even
your
let's
dad
say
and
she
he
would've
give you
whooped me.
$10. You know what I'm saying? That's your little $10.
Say she would have whooped me, she still would have took the $10. It was a no winning.
But what was the purpose of that? Was she money hungry, or she just
No.
thought the kids shouldn't have money?
My mother believed that anything that you need, she's gonna provide for you.
Okay.
You don't need nothing. You don't need money.
Not even candy.
Not even candy.
Did you get
money.
lunch money to eat
If
at school?
If you need candy, she gave me $2 a day all the way through high school. Now you believe it or not?
Wait a minute.
If I wanted something extra,
Wait a minute. High school?
all the way through high school, from middle school through high school, she gave me $2 a day.
She gave all the kids, all 5 of her kids, $2 a day.
Lunch was not that expensive. That's what she said. You don't need, and if it was $2.30, you need $2.30. She gave you $2.30.
Damn.
Now she can have all the money in the world. You just need your $2.30.
So what was her reasoning behind it? Just
Well, I mean, when
I need to ask
we
her
were
this.
little kids, her thought process was nobody should give you money without.
what about your
'cause
auntie or your daddy or your
anybody
grandma or
can
your
give you-
Mimo?
No, anybody can give you money for wrong reasons. She wanted to know who gave you money.
Now
Why
that
were they
I
giving you
agree
money?
with. That I agree with. Why is Uncle such and such giving you $20? I get it.
So she wanted to know who
But if
gave.
it came from your Medea, why would she take it? I don't know if she did. I'm just saying.
Nah, I don't think she would take that. But I don't think she'll take my. I don't remember, but I do know that if people gave us money, she wanted to know why and who gave you money, and she would take the money and she would use the money where she felt it needed, even if my dad gave.
But y'all
me
didn't
money.
want for anything as children.
But we didn't have. We never wanted for anything, and so that was one thing. And she was a big spender, and she kind of a little money. She liked her money, but I'm gonna say this:
Big baller.
she made her money, so she liked to spend it in the way she liked to spend her thought. Now her philosophy on money is totally different than mine. So how this affected me was as I got older. When I did start working, and I did start pushing back. When I started earning my money,
Mm-hmm.
I started to have a fit when she tried to take it. I would literally have a fit.
Like when you got your, like when you were
screen.
16 and got a job.
Yes, when I started working, and if doing all that, I'm like, if I gotta go do this, you gonna take it? No. So
did she beat you?
No, she left my money. She stopped with me at a certain, and she tries to whip me all the way through school, but
I'll tell your mom ain't no joke.
but I'm just saying, but if when I had money and I worked for it, she left it alone because I had such a breakdown. I said, I'm not working. I don't want to work. I was really,
forget it. I just stay home. Let you take care of me.
This wasn't worth it to me. So when I started working, and then she would leave me alone with the money, but I was such a saver because I did not want to spend it because I never got to have money. I never got to have money like that.
Did you save it like that because she was such a spender? Or you just really just...
But me and my sister, Lavonna, we were the oldest. The younger kids had money. Okay. They had a different mother in a way. We have the same mother, but they had a different mother.
I get that.
Do you understand?
I get that.
As we got old, we were the older two. So as we got older, we took on responsibilities of those younger ones, and we had it doing we had it during the harder times of her life.
Right, you to the oldest one.
When the money wasn't
as fluid.
She was younger,
right? She was still trying to earn her way,
right? So, but we had a different mother, and so they had a little bit more freedom, a little bit more money. She probably did some of the same things I don't remember, but when I got older, it made me. Y'all say I'm tight, but I don't think I'm tight. I have goals. I have certain dollar amounts I like to hit before I do something. So, and sometimes they're unreasonable. Sometimes I need to, and sometimes I hurt myself trying to.
But where does just thinking about deep inside you, what is that? Are you afraid that?
No. Some of that is hereditary.
From your dad? Your dad was like that?
My mother told me that my dad
was a money hoarder.
Right. He didn't just, he would.
But you and your sister both are very good. Y'all hoard money in different ways because she will hoard money, but she would save for a certain dollar amount for something, but it's not the cheap route. You will save money for something. You looking for the cheapest route. Like she would buy the good tile, and you be like, "Well, this tile just as good, but it's a whole lot cheaper. It looks a whole lot cheaper." You know what I mean? It's like y'all both have the same thought process, but she's willing to buy the nicer quality stuff versus you if it's on sale.
She has artistic skills in her. She has more of maybe she can see the flowers. I see the flowers, but I see the weeds behind it. And so I want to, so I'm just like, I want to.
I personally just thinking about this, I can't really say in terms of finances. I know my mother never really did teach me anything. Again, I had a different mother than my younger two siblings. Mm-hmm. By the time they came along, she was actually excelling in her career, working one job versus two, and she was able to do a lot more. And I think by that time, like I said in the last episode, I stopped paying attention, and I kind of went on my own way. So I never really took time to benefit from her growth and from her advancement, and I never really had the type of relationship where we would sit down and talk about money and how to save money. I kind of just learned it back in them days. Actually, when we went to school, I had a banking class. That's how I learned how to bank, how to write checks and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm very, very bad with money, and I can't say it's because of her. It's just for not knowing in general.
Dang it.
What's it from? Smart ass. What's it from?
You like spending money.
I do.
So it is. I actually can get sick from spending money.
I can get sick too when it's all gone.
Well, see, when I'm actually because to me, okay, money is a commodity. You own it. It's
right.
yours. It's just like a house, a car, whatever. So when you earn it, people say, "Oh, I can replace that." No, you can't replace it. You just took away from that. You just took away and gave it away and got something for it or got nothing for it, and you got to go get it again. So it's how you think of it. So that's how I look at it.
I don't even know where the heck I got this from. I don't know. Again, I don't know where I got this from, but I just feel like you can't take anything with you.
No, you can't.
And definitely, I feel like you should enjoy life the best way you can. Not make yourself destitute where you can't enjoy the longevity of your life,
Right.
financially stable. But I definitely feel like you should enjoy your life in the moment. You work, you put in so many grueling hours in a work week. Buy the damn shoes. Get the darn drink. Eat the steak. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
again, everything is within boundaries, though.
Right. Because it's somewhere in the middle there. Because sometimes I'm all the way on the end. So y'all call me frugal. Y'all call me tight. Y'all call
look
me
at
stingy.
here. You getting better though, but man, look at here.
So sometimes I need to be a little bit better, which I have been. But then there's other end where you spend everything you get, where you can spend everything you get, and that ain't good either. So, you put one of my buddies, Greg, he said something to me that, and I heard it before, but I hadn't thought of it. He said, I said, what I have to really start getting my retirement together. He said the main thing with your retirement is to, when you get older, what do you need to live off of? That's what they all say.
Right.
But when you press more into it, just at the end of the day, even if you're getting, I don't know, a couple $1,000s a month coming in, is your house paid off? Do you have your cars? Do you have your can you pay your bills, whatever bills it is, and you be able to live within that boundary? So, so I was looking at retirement as I need to have this big old giant nest egg, and really no, you need to just have something bringing in income every month, or having money saved where you don't have to do as much every month.
Right.
And that's where you have to invest and try to get a good investment that's gonna make ends meet for you at some point. So, I don't know. I just, I don't know.
So do you have mommy issues?
Do I have mommy?
We talked about daddy issues last time. So do you have mommy issues? People don't think that exists, but it does.
Yeah, I think everybody have issues with their parents.
No, I didn't say issues with your parents. Mommy issues, like usually issues are something that you walked away incomplete with your relationship or with your upbringing, something that was missing.
Okay. Let me see what my mother did.
We don't want to know what she did, but
or
just
didn't do.
Yeah, we don't want to get you whooped, because your mama will whoop you. You still get whooping. He still get whoopings, y'all. Don't let him fool you.
Let's see. My mother.
Let me go first.
I can tell you this. I probably got more whoopings and beatings probably than any of my cousins, any of my siblings, and I have a lot of kinfolk. I probably got more whoopings and beatings than anybody. Now, I don't think I deserved it all, but I got it. But I don't know if I do got mommy. I don't think so.
Your mother, hopefully this is not too much, but one of your mother's biggest complaints from you is you don't call her enough. You don't check up on her.
I think that's more of, I don't think it has nothing to do with mother or what. I just, even like my kids, I may not call them as much.
But okay, now where did that come from? Because for me personally, even though my relationship with my mother in the beginning stages weren't as close, but as we got closer, as I got older, it started transforming into something different. Like, we talk regularly, whether we're mad or not. We make sure everybody's okay. We checking on each other.
I think that comes from me being
a man.
No, it's not a man thing. I'm a white. I think it's a white thing. I think it's a genetic thing.
Genetic?
Yeah, I mean.
So you genetically programmed to not call your mama?
No, what I mean is, I really can't explain this all the way, but I look at that side of my family, and things happen, but they have a little solidness to them. It's just like, you may haven't seen somebody in years, and it's just like they pick right up like nothing else. I mean, I don't know.
But I've met quite a few people on your dad's side, and they're very
they keep
loving,
and
they keep up with each other. They seem to have great relations. They do a lot of family oriented stuff, versus your mother's side doesn't. So
maybe it is my mother's side. I thought it was my. Well, I was closer to my mother's side because I was around them
Right.
more. So it may be a mother's side thing. So I could be wrong. So I don't know. But my grandmother has always kept us all around when she was alive. So everybody was around. So, but now that she's not here, and everybody's not always around. It's like that.
Yeah,
Medea,
it's
it's
like
like
when
that
that,
grandmother's.
yeah.
What is that? What's that movie? Medea. What was it?
I don't know, but
Well, when she passed, everybody was fighting it.
oh yeah, oh I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name. Soul Food.
Soul food.
Yeah.
So it's a real deal.
It is, and usually when the matriarch does pass, and things are not, because matriarchs have a way of keeping relationships with the individuals, but the individuals don't necessarily have relationships.
Right.
The matriarch thinks they do. They think because I'm leaving, me being gone will bring it together. That's not how it works all the time. Because a lot of time when people have space in their relationship, that space is still there when the person dies. It doesn't, unless you make a genuine effort to do something different. So I think for me, my mommy issues are, let's see, I have a lot of issues with stuff. I think the biggest thing for me was the lack of affection. She was a hardworking mother, made sure we had everything we needed. She worked hard, and I think because she worked hard and was sacrificing, I think, now that I look back, sacrificed her happiness just to make sure we were taken care of. And that's the thing I want to talk about, sacrificing our happiness for our children, because it can be detrimental and in some ways. And I think she was in her selfless mode, where she was self-sacrificing herself to make sure we were good, working hard, make sure we had a safe place to stay, make sure we had what we had, and then depend on nobody. She worked so hard. And I think that rubbed off on me also, because you lose sight sometimes of what's important, and you lose sight of the little things. You know what I mean? And it's just been in these past few years that, like, again, that our relationship has flourished the way it is. I mean, she took darn good care of us. We didn't want for anything, and we may thought we wanted, wanted stuff, but I mean, we didn't want for anything. But she was, and for me also, I didn't, when I got married, hell, I'm married, I worked 2 jobs. I worked from sun up to sundown. It just rubbed off on me, just this workaholic type thing, and not stopping to smell the roses. You know what I'm saying? If that's a mommy issue, the not being able to show love and compassion, if that makes sense.
Well, that happens unintentional, probably.
Right.
So,
It's not, yeah, I believe that. Because I did it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my mother, I guess if I look at it like that, my mother always, she always gave us affection and everything. I do know that when my stepfather was around and I was younger, she trusted. You tend to think that people going to deal with your kids the same way.
They have good intentions because they love you.
Right. So now,
I'm thinking about that. How did that
well,
make you feel about her?
Well, no. It didn't make me feel any way, because once she realized she was a beast, once she realized that my stepfather was mean, he would never do that in your face. It was like normal parent discipline stuff. But then when he wasn't a little robber, so it's funny, because when she wasn't around, he would come by and pinch you and pick you up and just you never knew when you was gonna get in trouble, because he would walk like he was normal, gonna walk right past you and just grab you.
That's mean.
Yeah, so it was traumatic for me when I was a kid. So,
so in all fairness, did you tell your mother?
I think I told my grandmother, and my grandmother ended up dealing with him. And then I think one of my mother's friends, but my mother's friend's son saw it, and he was a little bit older, and he said, "Oh man, you really scared of him, huh?" And that's when I think it probably came out more.
Yeah, I have to say this though, because my mother, after she divorced my sister and brother's dad, she never remarried. So I never had to deal with anything like that. I cannot ever honestly say that after she divorced him,
But you were
nobody
probably
else was
older.
around. I was older, but nobody else was around. She never brought anybody around, so I cannot say I never felt unprotected. You know what I mean? I never felt like unsafe, or like she was choosing somebody or not seeing something that was obvious. I
Right.
never had to deal with that. She was very good about that, protecting us like that. And I think she did date. Because I got older, I saw a little more, but it was never in our face, around us, or
Yeah, I can say my mother didn't do that either. When she date, when she did date, it was I did know of Kenny, and I did know of um. I think she dated some guys I know, like another Robert, and some other people. But no, she didn't date a lot of people, so I didn't have that experience of different guys. But she dated, but she only married twice that I know of. Yeah.
so we basically
Yeah.
sort of kind of was raised by single mothers for a good period of our lives. So just based on that, do you think their mental or emotional mindset, because of their grinds and not being with somebody that affect you,
Lack of fathers being in your life.
Yeah.
A lot of people get affected by that, and some people need that more than others. I think my makeup, I really didn't need it as much. I replaced it. I think
you
I
have
said
role
this.
models in your life from
Right,
church,
right.
and
I had role models where it wasn't really the guys in church. It was more the lesson. I can't explain it all the way, but I never really. My family was so overbearing, to where you really didn't need of course I wanted my dad. You yearn for your father. Don't get me wrong, but his influence was probably better not in my life. I don't know everything he went through. I think my life would probably be different if he probably was.
right?
And I can't say it would always be for the best. I can't say that, because the things my mother did teach me was to be. I don't know. My father was a little bit more open, a little bit more, a little different type of parent. So I'm not saying he was a bad parent. He would have been a bad parent. I don't know, but I can tell you that my mother, the people that I was around, I had uncles, I had cousins, I had whatever. The people, I had even neighbors. The people I was around literally protected us, to where they made sure no harm came to us. I can't.
Yeah,
It was
like
God.
a village. It was like a village.
Yeah, but God, it was more like a.
Your mother has
it's in the
your mother
vine.
has a pretty big family too. She has a
Yeah.
pretty big family,
But
and
I never had no kind of like no
and
uncle
she's
or no
had good
cousins.
friendships also. I know that she does
Right.
mention a lot of friends, so she had very
And I
good
never
friendships.
had, you hear about people hurting kids or coming at them,
Right.
molesting them or doing. I never had none of that stuff.
Okay.
She just, she had good, she was good at, like, no, or it could have just been God, but just protecting over me as a kid, but no harm ever came to me. No harm ever really came to me. Sitting there thinking about.
So you never felt like any instability, because as kids we have intuitions. I can't say all that instability other than, I could tell she was angry. I didn't understand why.
Yeah, my mom was angry. She was mad.
And now that I'm older, I do understand why now, because I went through that period as well. It's like when you don't understand as a kid that when your parents go through heartbreak and breakups, and then they try to reestablish their family and try to be the sole provider, the mother and the father, how it affects them. And I get that now, but as a kid, you don't always understand it. And
it's not the kid's fault that life ain't work out for
yeah,
people.
but as you know, you have to be able to talk to your kids now. I mean, when you know better, you do better. I didn't do the best at it either because I went through my angry phase as well. So, but when you know better, you do better. So, you have to be able to talk to your children. This has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this.
And you can't take out your anger on your kids.
Let me say this for anybody that's a parent. There's no perfect parent.
No, that's true.
Okay. So you don't know how your life will influence your child, whether it be good or bad. You may
That's
have
very
a
true.
bad experience in your life that makes your child make good decisions. Your experience in your life may make a child say, I don't want that. I don't want to be like that. Or they may say, I want to be just. They may not even know it. They just may subconsciously want to be just like you, or just do the same things you
Or
do.
choose to be different because whatever didn't look right or feel right.
So it's more about the person, the individual choice of the child at some point when they become adult or when they make decisions.
You can't keep blaming your parents all your life about everything that's going wrong in your life.
Right.
You know.
So how it influences me, one thing I learned was to make good decisions. And by trying to make the best decisions, you're not going to make every correct decisions. There's a difference between correct decisions, good decisions, and bad decisions. When you correct decisions is where you made the correct decision. It ain't necessarily a good decision, but it was the correct decision for you. Where you made a decision to maybe stay in a marriage. You made a decision maybe to not go in that store when your friends was
good point.
You're not going. So now there's good decisions where you made a good decision where it's a gold mine. You hit the jackpot. You did something that was you put some money here and it made $1 million. You made a very good decision. But a correct decision is just making a small decision that you're not gonna just something's gonna you dibble and dabbling in something that's not right. You've been taught, it's right from wrong, and you decide to either play on the fence with it or go ahead and go all the way in and do something. And then bad decision when you make a bad decision, it sets you back. A bad decision when you get a setback. You hurt somebody. You hurt somebody's feelings. That's gonna affect your life.
Right.
And you don't make decisions that's gonna set you back, putting you in jail financially, where you're trying to be at in somewhere in your life. You made a bad decision, it's gonna set you back. So one of the best things to do is for anybody is try to learn good decision making, because good decision making it boils down to your salvation.
There has to be something consciously that you want to do and search for and see, because you may not have all the best decision tools that you need to make good decisions, because it's not always taught. Because as parents, we get wrapped up in parenting, we get wrapped up in our relationships, we get wrapped up in our jobs and trying to, be happy ourselves and live life, that you lose sight sometimes of the things that are important for people to know to be able to make these decisions. So I think as an individual, you learn and you grow, you have experiences, you go to college or you go right into the workforce, and you have to be a conscious, aware of things. And I think it took me a while to get there, but I try to be aware of things and learn from situations. Now, some things, it takes me a lot longer than others, just depending on what it is, especially if my emotions are involved. But just in general, like now, like if I see one of my children not necessarily doing the right thing or making the right decision, I will reflect on something in their childhood where better than this. Or if I know it's something that I didn't necessarily address or deal with, that they really don't have the tools to make the best decision, that's when my experience step in. But again, as them being young adults, they have to make the decision at the crossroad to whether they want to go this way or that way, And that's why I really don't buy into when people's children, oh, I wonder how they was raised. You can't really. I don't buy into that, because that's not fair. Because I damn well didn't teach any of my children how to steal, kill, what's the other one? Lie, steal, kill. Maybe I did teach him how to lie by sneaking them into the movie theater. Maybe, I did. You better
Well,
tell the people you ate. But what I'm saying is, I just at some point, I just feel like when they become adults, they gotta own their own shit. You're not gonna make me the scapegoat. Like, I can't make my parents or Vernon the scapegoat of everything. I'm 48 now. I can't say that his lack of or lack thereof or direct influence of anything at this stage of my life is his fault. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point along my journey, I have to start owning my own stuff, because if you know you got daddy issues, some things need to change. You know what I mean?
well,
Hopefully that made sense.
I think the people need to make conscious decisions, and I tried to make them at a young age.
You always think you so perfect.
No, I actually, I'm
Your
not
mama
saying
said you was bad as hell.
I was bad, but my kind of bad was maybe all those beatings made me make conscious decisions, because I was one of them kids that needed.
I was hard headed.
I was hard headed, but I was I'm still a curious person, and I don't know, but I wasn't bad to where I went and got in trouble. I made conscious decisions in school. You know what? Let me just say this. When I made bad grades in school, all the way up until I made a conscious decision, and I don't want to make bad grades anymore. So let me see how this works. When you don't get the proper education, let me just say, when you're in school and you don't get the proper education, I'm just using this as an example of making a conscious decision. This is a conscious decision. Wasn't making good grades, didn't get the proper education, so I got to a point where I was embarrassed of what kind of grades I was getting, what classes I was in, what just where I was and my level of whatever, And I actually said, I'm going to, because I wasn't reading on the right level. I said, I'm going to learn to read. I said, so I actually decided to learn.
You got tired of being picked at and left behind?
I got tired of being left behind. I got tired of not knowing the simple things.
Right.
And it wasn't because I wasn't smart. It was because I could not put it together.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I got it.
I understood, but I could not put what was taught from what I'm learning. So I had to actually learn what I wasn't taught. Do you understand?
Right.
So it was like trying to put it together. And, because they actually taught you. If you was actually a good teacher, they actually taught you back in those days. So anyway, that was just one way of making a conscious decision. I decided to make good grades, or better grades. And then
I think, like you said before, parents aren't perfect, and you can only, to some extent, parent as only as good as the tools that you were given on the hand that you was dealt, and that's a cop out sort of kind of, because you can also strive to do better and be better and be different. Right. And I just think
well, I'm gonna say this as a parent. The most important thing a parent one of the most important things is to teach your kids to make good, conscious decisions. They're making good decisions. If you teach a child to make a good, conscious decision, no matter what they come against, they can at least think the issue out. Even if they have to rush, they automatically gonna go towards the right decision, to do the right thing, or to lean that way. You're safer doing the right thing. So if nothing else, I got that from my mother, is making conscious decisions. Now, I'm not gonna say she make all the best decisions, because like I said, when it comes to money and different things, she'll spend. But my mother has always, I did pick that up from her. It's like,
right.
She be like, hey, now I'm gonna say how she said it, but I ain't doing that. She just think about it. It's just, if it's something that's dumb.
Do you even realize how just like your mom you are? Like, you always tell me, oh, you just like Dixie. Do you realize how much you're just
What,
like Ivy?
you're driving? What?
Shut up. Leave my mama alone. I'm talking about my mother just very cautious about the freeways. That's all. She wants to make sure everybody is safe and get to their destination in a safely, timely manner.
Yeah,
Okay.
the steering wheel, I had to take it from her and out that back seat. Give me this back. I need this.
You better leave my mama alone. But y'all just alike. I mean, y'all are so headstrong. Y'all get something in your head to get so convicted, and you cannot see. It's like you just got these barriers up. You can't see nothing until you go full speed ahead to get whatever it is done. And then once it's done, and it's always last minute, by the way.
Yeah.
It's bulldoze. You bulldoze your way last minute because y'all procrastinators. But once y'all get through it, you could be cussing, fussing, yelling, pulling all your resources, making everybody uncomfortable. Making people change their plans, but once it's done, you be like, okay, so how you guys doing? What's next? What we having for dinner? It's just like, didn't you just cuss? Didn't you just pull me out of line?
When you have a task, when your boss tell you to do something, he's going crazy. She's going back crazy, getting something done. After it's all done, what do? They go back to, okay, good job, guys. Okay, and you're like.
But the thing about it is, when it's personal, it's attackful.
Wait a minute.
When you,
why can people go work and do all this stuff
for somebody and not?
But when it's something that's gonna affect your life.
People always say we are nice to the people that we work with than we are to family members. I don't know how the hell that happens. Maybe because we are obligated because we get paid to do it or whatever. So I don't know. That's a good topic. That's a good one because why is that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So what characteristics you see in me that my mother has?
Either one y'all can drive.
I can drive.
Directions. I think your mama's.
My mother good with directions.
Yeah,
now I'm not, but she is. Just thinking about that character, that thing. Ooh, you just like your mama. My mama mean.
Yeah,
she's direct.
She's not mean, but I have a mean streak, a fight, it's like a fight in you. Like
what?
That's a stubbornness. It's like a something you mad
you
about.
had to give me an example because I am not mean. I get angry about stuff. I have unrealistic expectations of people that makes me angry.
When something don't go the way you want or the way you think it should go.
That's the unrealistic expectations, yeah.
You don't just settle well with that.
Because I feel like you need to have some sense about yourself.
It's gonna bother you.
You should know what I'm thinking. You should know me enough to know where I feel. So you should not be doing the dumb shit you do. I mean, I have a right to be angry.
Yes, I went to school for the wrong thing. I should have went for mind reading. So, if unrealistic expectations.
Hey.
All right. Hey. So I don't know if your mama do that, but I do know
I think we think that because we're nurturers. We're nurturing women. And I think we put so much into our nurturing and we don't necessarily need that back, but definitely if you see something where you can help because we've nurtured you, we would think that you would think to step up to the plate and do that.
So you want, if you rub my back, you want somebody to rub your back.
So to speak, and you know what? We learned that in church.
I get it, but it don't always happen like that because in a way people have different roles. So you a nurturer, somebody maybe,
and you're not a nurturer. I could be sick. Provider. You sick, baby? What you need? Some water? You throw me a bottle of water until I'll be back. I gotta go to work.
So you have a role where I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying your role,
and that you get from your mama too.
Your role that you do. Is that's who you are. That's your makeup. Other people have to work on those things. Where
are you working on them?
I can't. Yeah, I am working on. I have worked on my stuff because I'm different than what I used to be. You think I'm not a nurturer now?
I think you've gotten better at it.
Of course, because I work on it.
It's subtle. It's subtle.
It's a conscious decision.
Exactly, because I got a conscious decision. This is stuff that
Yeah, so I make conscious decisions on I need to do this because that's the right thing to do, and I need to make sure that nothing escalates or whatever it is. So yeah, so I don't know.
I just think as adults, I'm going to end this here on this particular topic. We're going to skip the anonymous tea because we talked about a lot. This is part 2 of The Child Inside Me. Hopefully you got a good idea of our makeup and
we can't talk about our mamas because our mamas will whoop us. So we have to say all nice things and all good things. Okay.
So you just want to, a few things to reflect on. How does your childhood experience provide the model for your adulthood and your relationships, and how you deal with people? How can you improve your relationships, your current self, to break bad habits when you weren't raised with the best of habits? It's always out there. I know in the Black community that we have generational curses and family curses, and it doesn't have to be that way. Just because your mama, your great grandmother, and everybody on welfare don't mean you got to be on welfare. Somebody has to break the chains and break the cycle and do something different. It's not always easy, but it's possible. It can happen. And I think, not just to my own horn, I think I've gone through a lot of stuff throughout my life. Some of it's my fault, some of it's not, but you know what? I'm here by the grace of God and because of the love of my family, my mother and my Vernon and my siblings and people that are being, like my grandmother was a very pivotal person in my life, my granddaddy Jesse, my Aunt Betty. I mean, just these people in my life was so impactful. I think I finally settled into the woman I am today, and I think I'm a darn good woman at this point. I mean, it's been a work in progress, but I think I'm there. So definitely, if you know better, do better if that's possible. Okay, so before I go, I just want to share this with everybody. Back in October of 2017, the family, all of us we met up in California, had like a little mini 4 days and 3 nights vacation in Los Angeles, California. My son, DeAndre Jackson, the photographer, check him out if you want some photography done. He set me up with some podcasts to meet some different people in California, and just the podcast, right? Remember?
Models, yeah.
Yeah, there was models, actors, different things like that. And one individual was Rhett. He is at Rhett's Life on Instagram. I am not gonna say his last name because I cannot pronounce it. But I met him. Oh my gosh, he was such a breath of fresh air. And I remember that part because when he first came in, he was so shy and so reserved. But once we got to talking, he just blossomed and we had such a great conversation. So check that out, episode 39, Rhett's Life. Anyway, so today I opened my email and I don't know who it is, but I check all my emails just in case somebody really want to send me $1 million. So I happened to check this email and it was from, I don't know who it was from, so I'm going to read it. It says, Monroe. Hi there. Just wanted to say thank you for podcasting with my son, Rhett. I'm not going to butcher his last name, but it's a long last name. I actually had no idea he made this podcast with you. I just saw it on the internet and listened to it. I was impressed with your interview. I like how natural your conversation went and how supportive of him and his thoughts you were. I live in the wet state of Washington where Rhett was raised. I had to laugh at his memories of Washington state. I actually fish for salmon and hunt deer and elks near Forks, where all the vampires live. Again, I just wanted to say good job to you, good luck, and may God bless you. Rhett's father, Mike. When I tell you I shed a little tear because I've been having some rough days here. This podcasting things is not easy. People think, you get on this microphone and you just talk, but what I tell you is endless hours of researching, learning recording software, learning how to set up equipment, trying to book guests, trying to get relevant topics, trying to market, trying to brand, trying to connect with other people. I mean, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, people. That's the tip. It's not easy, and you definitely have to have a love and a passion for what you're doing. And this email right here just gave me that little nudge to say, just keep going. Just keep going. He really, really, really made my day because you don't always get the downloads. You don't always get the likes. You don't always get the comments and people leaving beautiful comments like this. And it's definitely made my day. And I thank you. I'm glad I was able to make someone's parents proud. I feel so good about myself. I feel good. I think I'm going to cry again. I'm telling you, I'm just so appreciative. And yeah, so yeah, this is part 2, the child inside me.
Gaga. Goo, goo, goo.
Y'all be easy now. We out. And check me out on all social medias. Not all, but most. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. I'm actually trying to Snapchat. I'm not very good at it, but I was getting better, boss. Okay? So definitely check me out. And yeah, peace out. You know what I meant to do? I meant to actually do my...
Just stop.
Oh, sorry. Let me stop recording. I appreciate everyone who is listening.